Hi, my name is Jackie Kirkup. Welcome to Spotlight on Souris. Today is Thursday, February the 5th, 2026. I have with me to my immediate right, Mayor Duane Davison. Welcome. And beside Duane, I have Deputy Mayor Bruce Apperley. Beside him is Darcy Gerow, Councilman, and Todd Walker, Councilman. So welcome, men, to this segment about the town of Souris. And I am going to turn it right over to Mayor Duane. We have lots to discuss tonight, just with some news about what's been happening in and around the community and what's coming down the pipe for 2026. So take it away, sir.
Perfect. A couple things right off the hop. Yeah, it's all men. We do have other genders on the council, but Councillor Eisner's in Jamaica and for some reason didn't think it was appropriate that she commute for this particular event. So I guess that's a reasonable excuse. Right off the hop, just a couple of public service things. Just want to mention again, we did it in the council one night, but want to mention in this forum as well, the passing of former Mayor Danny Tongi prior to Christmas. So as we blow the community, Danny is a fantastic guy, involved in a lot of organizations over the last several decades, and so just our condolences to Danny's, to Cheryl and the family, and just we're all going to miss him. The next thing I want to mention is, and again we mentioned it at council, but on this forum, Councillor Donnie Brown was on council for 7 years, and he stepped away for personal reasons just before Christmas as well. I just want to thank Don for all he's done, and just wish him the best. So, now get into the meat of this thing. We've had, it's interesting. People don't realize the moving parts to this business and what's involved in keeping this place going, and all the work that the office does and all the work that the public works guys do, and the little bit of work that we do to help it along. But so a lot of things went on last year, and we got a lot of, obviously quite a few things planned for this year. But one of the things we've mentioned several times when I've been here is this Munisoft conversion. We changed our software, municipal software, from a more archaic platform to Munisoft, which is a Canadian company. That's all they do is municipal software. It's been a bigger challenge than we expected, but it's turned out now we're getting to the point now where we're really starting to see the benefits. It was a big hill to climb. Actually, the hill might have turned into a mountain, but we're there now, and we're realizing a ton of efficiencies. And through that, prior to, we were kind of thinking we may need more staff just to keep up the way things go in the office. But now that we've got this software running and everything's rolling and people are trained up, and with the staff we have, which is fantastic, by the way, we're good. And more efficiencies, one of the biggest things that it does for us, there's an asset management module, and with that, our operations manager can use that for cost tracking and analysis, and down the line you use that for projected equipment replacement, et cetera, et cetera. We never had a solid number on what our jobs cost us, what the hours, and the equipment wasn't factored in, and so this is really been a great thing down the road for budgeting and for future councils for budgeting and for long-term planning, which we had a meeting yesterday about long-term planning, and we'll have several more, but it's going to be a great tool for us. So we're pleased the bulk of the pain is over, and we're starting to, it's going to be a great benefit for us down the road. So that's the first thing we had.
Can I just ask one
You can ask as many questions as you want.
Oh, sure, perfect. Just with this Munisoft conversion, I feel when we were last talking, you maybe didn't have the whole program, or there's different parts of the program to add to it. And correct me if I'm entirely
No,
wrong.
I'm not sure that you're wrong. I'd be surprised if you're wrong, actually, Jackie. The asset management piece we hadn't got flashed up at that time. I think we're still integrating the PayWorks piece at that time, and we're contemplating making a change on that as well. Everything you do, there's a cost, right? You add on modules or you expand modules. There's a cost, but I think we had discussion just recently, the deputy mayor and I and the CAO, and we're pretty certain that if we upgrade to the kind of next level, that it'll pay for itself in a matter of months,
right.
just with the efficiency for payroll.
Yeah.
So so we're looking at that.
Perfect. Well, efficiencies are great, right? So yeah,
Totally.
like you say, they will pay for themselves. So excellent.
Yeah. So yeah, next on the list, and this has been ongoing for quite a while, you know, right after we all got elected, and we did get elected, all of us, which not many in our province can say that this last go around. We had an assessment done on the bridges west of town, and the company that did the assessment told us basically, in layman's terms, they were all shot. And they recommended replacing them all. We did some research, found another engineering firm that assessed them, and they didn't need to be replaced, they could be repaired. So we went from projected costs of $2 to $2.5 million per bridge down to kind of around $200,000 to $300,000 per bridge for repairs.
Wow.
And so we've done two now. We did the one immediately west of town on Road 124 initially, and then we did Road 129 this past summer, and actually a local firm did that, Hodgson Construction, did a great job. We chose that one because it goes right straight through from number 2 to the Trans-Canada Highway, and so it can be a bit of a thoroughfare, and there's sometimes people are jogging across there with big loads, so we chose that one. And so we'll project to do another one this year, and we expect that'll probably be Road 127. And then I'm not sure if we're gonna do the last one or not. We'll see what happens with all the bridges and everything south of town. The ones we've looked at there, we can replace with culverts typically. It's not as big a project, but we gotta assess that. But I expect the 4th bridge west of town will get done eventually. Just not sure if it's gonna get done next year. So that's where we're at. So we're pretty excited about that. It's still a big cost to eat, but you know, somebody tells us it's gonna cost $3,000 to repair your car, then you go to it's $1,500. I think it's a good deal.
Yep.
So that's where we're at with that, and it's just the bridges were never built for the loads. Like they were damaged anyway, but they were never built for the loads that they're taking now.
Right.
So that's gonna be, like I say, hopefully cleaned up by next year. Next one on the list here is interesting, and Councillor Deputy Mayor Apperley could speak to it as well.
Yep.
We've got several DFA projects, disaster financial assistance projects on the golf course that have been ongoing now for several years as a result of that big rain we had in 2022. And so there's one kind of outstanding, and it's on hole number 5. The creek has to get rerouted, and to do that, we have to borrow some land from the landowner, neighboring landowner. So we're trying to work out a deal with that. Maybe a land swap, whatever we can do to make that work, to do that reroute and going. And hole number 3 was the one where they decided to just make a brand new green instead of doing a creek reroute. And so the green was done by a firm from Eastern Manitoba. I'm not sure if they're from Winnipeg or not. And it was less than stellar. And so we had to tackle that again this summer, again with a local firm. And I think it's in pretty good shape now, and we're hoping to get on that next year, maybe late in the year, eh, Bruce?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And it turned into a bit of a, I mean, we're fortunate we still have the existing green to play on.
Right,
And so hopefully we get that cleaned up, finished up this coming summer, get the grass all growing and make a pretty cool hole out of it.
Yeah, I won't be able to par that one either, so.
Well, sometimes the wind blows right away.
So with a rerouting of the hole, with the creek involved, is disaster financial assistance, is that how it's funded, or
That's
is that
correct.
also,
Yeah.
do you have to have like the fisheries and all of that?
Well, they have to assess.
Oh, I see.
And that particular hole didn't have any creek work done.
I see.
When we did the bridge, down below the clubhouse between holes number 6 and 79.
Yeah.
That was interesting, and we discovered this, and Councillor Gerow would have known all this stuff. Same as when we did the culverts out in the east end of the municipality, the Denning culverts on that road. You're not allowed to work in the water until after June 30th
Oh, okay.
because of spawning and whatnot.
Right.
And so that's one part. The second part is if provincially that's a statute, but if DFO, Department of Fisheries and Oceans, federally decides they want to look at it, then you can't turn a wheel till they look at it.
Okay.
And that caused us a great delay on both those projects,
Right,
actually.
right.
But yeah, they gotta come and they gotta give their approval.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. You know, we're trying to protect our
sure.
habitat as well.
Yep.
And so, yeah, we're geared up, ready to go as soon as the snow is gone and, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
So
Yep,
for big
yep,
projects, it's a
yep,
bigger
for sure.
issue.
When
Those
things
weren't
take-
huge projects.
Take the
but-
time, right?
Yeah. And go on with the golf course, and Bruce could speak to this, there was a $100,000 from the ground up grant, given to the golf course from the provincial government. And the municipality loaned $100,000. That was for a sprinkler system upgrade for irrigation. It had been, a patchwork for quite a while and a lot of labor hours spent just trying to keep it running. And so, we're forced to have to get the ground up grant and the $100,000, the municipal loan. What we did, we drafted it up, so it's pretty flexible. It can be paid out at any time if the golf course is flush with cash. But by the same token, if we experienced like 2011 to 2014 again, where the lower holes are flooded several times and there's not much traffic on there and there's not much cash flow, then they can skip payments as well.
I see.
So, it's important to us as a council that we have that recreation facility out there, and so we want to work with them and make it work. So we were pretty flexible with that. All we did that we were mandated to was you have to have a prescribed interest rate on that loan. Like, we couldn't say, hey, go ahead and have no interest. We just can't do that.
Right.
Not that we probably would have, but we have to use a prescribed rate.
Yep.
So that's I think it's it's going to be wonderful. They can, you can all the irrigation be programmed in, and our superintendent can actually spend time doing superintendent stuff instead of being a sprinkler troubleshooter.
Right, yeah.
And and they did the work. It took them a short time. They just plowed it in, and you could barely tell they'd been there. It's really neat. So that'll be a good thing to have.
So we will have real green greens then. Or green fairways, or
Yeah.
real green.
Yeah.
Well, there's still water conservation issues, but we should be able to do it as required for sure.
Yep.
And don't have to go there with a fire hose at 8 o'clock at night or whatever to do it, which happens sometimes.
And the system will operate during the night, where before it would operate and bypass, and there was always lots of problems, or the sprinklers wouldn't come up, or
Right.
or there'd be a break somewhere. So Darvis did a lot of work for wire breaks, or he became quite an expert at it, being able to troubleshoot it. And so actually the new computer system, everything, you can basically, I believe, operate it from a tablet or a phone as well. So
Wow.
And it'll identify faults.
Yeah,
Because
it will.
each head has its
Yeah.
own unique identity on that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Efficient.
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
gone from the 60s to the 21st century in a hurry. That was
Excellent.
good.
But it was also, it's lifetime, 20 years old,
Yes,
so,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, wonderful.
It'll be nice. So yeah, on down the list, we were fortunate enough again with the Gerow funding. This is look, Growth, Renewal, and Opportunities funding that the present government's giving out. And they were kind enough to give us $162,500 to go towards a new tanker for the fire department. So, because the old one, it is kind of a museum piece.
Oh,
You might find parts in some old farmer's backfield, I think, but it's past its prime.
right.
So this is, I think, gonna be a tanker / secondary pump is what they're shooting for.
That's what they're looking for, yeah.
And this is a used price on a used one that happened to be on the market at that time. Of course, it's gone, so, the fire chief's searching for something similar now.
Right, so they don't have this new tanker yet to
No,
to
no,
be purchased.
no, it's,
At
yeah,
some point.
so,
And the old tanker was previously the garbage truck for the town. So remember the old white garbage truck? It was painted red and,
I most certainly do.
yeah, so
Yes.
it's had a,
it's put its time in.
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's, we're looking forward to that. That's not gonna happen overnight though,
I
but,
believe that's where that came from.
Yeah, going bad.
Improvising,
So
right?
on down the line, interesting enough, so we talked before about the development plan,
Yes.
and we were going through all that. It's complete, but it's not approved.
Okay.
Even though it has to, it goes to the province for, they review it and make suggested changes. That's happened twice already, and then once we approve it, through council, still has to go back to the province, and they have to basically put a stamp on it.
Okay.
And that hasn't happened. Once that happens, once the minister approves it, then we can go forward with a whole bunch of other stuff that we've been kind of waiting on.
Right, so it's at the province and waiting
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
approval.
Yeah, and I don't know if you're aware, if this shocks you, but stuff doesn't really move super fast with the province. That's probably news to you, I guess,
No,
yeah.
that was a bit shocking there. I was kind of, heart was fluttering.
Yeah, so, we hope it gets done shortly, because
Yeah.
that's, our joining Keystone Planning District is contingent on that development plan
Right.
being approved.
Right,
Right now, we contract with them, and it's worked out really well.
okay.
So, and other things like zoning bylaws, et cetera, that can be updated, so we depend on that.
And hopefully that's forthcoming here soon.
Yeah, hopefully they pop it out pretty quick. Utility infrastructure, sewer and water line replacement or reline. We didn't do a lot this year, A, due to funding challenges, and B, ironically, due to failure of old infrastructure, right? So we had to
Maybe
do some
wrong with that
repairs,
entire
right?
sentence there.
We had to do some repairs that we never anticipated, which
Right.
burnt up a lot of time, a lot of money. So on that, and I've mentioned it before, the utility in this province is required to fund itself. So the utility doesn't have a pile of cash in it, which kind of is why the reserves aren't built up. There's several reasons why that's happened. You can't increase your water rates just arbitrarily. That has to be approved by Water Services Board. They have to do an assessment, and then they approve a rate increase. That didn't happen for several years here, and then when they did do an increase, it was probably inadequate, but it was such a large increase that that happened. So we don't have a ton of mad money in the utility.
Okay.
So we could have, like, somebody could drop $100 million on the municipality tomorrow, and we could have all this money in reserves, whatever, on the operations side. We can't use that funding for the utility. So your tax dollars are your tax dollars. The utility is totally funded by the sale of water, right?
Okay, I didn't realize there was that
And
separation.
And so that's where we struggle, because even to buy equipment, if we're 90% of the time or more in town, if we're digging a hole, it's for utility.
Right,
So it's a bit of a challenge, and we've the next thing on the list here, we just got approved by the Water Services Board for a water and wastewater assessment, which is a requirement, both performance-wise for several issues we have, but also it's the first step towards any improvements and for our rate increase. And what we could have gone ahead on our own and got an engineering firm to do that, but if the Water Services Board is involved, then they cost share 50/50.
I see.
And the cost share is significant. We're looking at 50/50 share up to a maximum of $120,000 per, so $120,000 for the water side and $120,000 for the wastewater side.
Oh, I see,
So
okay.
it's significant. I don't know,
Yeah.
that's a max. I don't know if we'll get to that. It might be half of that, I don't know, but, so that's a lot of money, and that's why we kind of held off. We've been waiting for this for over a year, and we finally got approved for that. So now we can kind of start the baby steps forward to get an engineering firm in here and go through all the steps required to ultimately, unfortunately, gonna be a water rate increase. Costs are what they are, and we need a water rate increase, and we have to include that increase, do some noodling on how much we need to be able to set some money aside in order to deal with these catastrophic events and deal with some equipment upgrades, et cetera. So that's gonna be a big challenge for us as well, hopefully this year.
Right.
Hopefully get all that done this year, and, then going forward for whoever is coming in down the line, we'll have it set up for them.
So they're gonna look at just like the facilities and see how they operate and how
Yep.
efficient they
Yep.
are and,
Facilities, the efficient, or, are they obsolete?
Right.
And what's the capacity?
okay,
And what can be done for upgrades, what they suggest for upgrades. So
Right.
we want to put a pre-filter system on the water treatment plant. The pre-filter system will save the reverse osmosis membranes. It'll
I
extend
see.
the life of them by 2 to 3 times.
okay,
It's $8,000 a pop to replace them all, if you do them
Wow.
all at once. So pre-filter system's a huge thing to do. We want to put it out by the wells. But again, that has to be, they have to assess that, approve that,
Right.
and I believe they'll even make recommendations on the type of pre-filter and all that.
Okay.
They'll help a lot with that.
Okay,
So they have a lot of say in what we do
Yeah.
there.
Right.
And that's all they do, so they're kind of a partner.
Yes.
And, yes, we look forward to getting some answers from them.
excellent.
So, yeah. Parks and Rec, we continue to look for efficiencies. As we talked about before, we installed level ice on the Zamboni, which keeps the ice level from getting too high. It's had its issues, like most new piece of equipment will, but when it's working really well. The cool thing about level ice is, I don't know if you've ever looked at any videos, people, when you're scraping the Zamboni and you're hand cranking that blade, and you go through the crease 6 to 8 times when you're doing a flood, if you're not lifting the blade, the next thing all of a sudden you're getting blue paint in the snow, like you're going too low. So what the level ice will do, the one thing it'll do, you baseline, you go to your highest point in the rink, highest point in the concrete rather, which is your thinnest ice.
Yep.
You baseline it, it will never cut lower than that.
Okay.
It cuts until it gets to that point, it'll never cut down from there.
Yep.
So we at least won't have that problem. We just installed a new compressor in the ice plant, and it's working fine now. The other two are probably on their way too, age-wise, but, and the other thing we're doing is, for efficiencies, like when this facility was built, there was, slab heat, circulating heat in the seats, the
Yes.
concrete. And something happened there back in the day, and the water got put through instead of glycol, and the lines all froze, so that doesn't work. And that heat was,
Oh, goodness.
that was using latent heat from the ice plant, which right now just goes blowing up the wall.
Yep,
So we're looking at pricing out some overhead forced air heaters, forced air hot water heaters, and take that latent heat and run through those heaters to try and help heat out
Yep.
there in the waiting
Yep.
area. So what I anticipate is we get those going, keep the temperature a certain temperature that's not -6 or 8 like it has been, and then the infrared heaters, the heaters that are there now, put occupancy sensors in the stands when people in the stands, and they turn on and warms up that little extra.
I see, okay,
And that's, again, efficiencies,
Yeah.
plus obviously some comfort.
yes.
So that's what we're looking to do. And I guess while we're at Parks and Rec, I should just dig out here. Here, I got it. Carol's last report to council was pretty cool before Christmas. There's a whole whack of stuff going on in Parks and Rec. I won't read it all. But one thing we did do, speaking of the rink, we had the head ice maker from the Keystone Center come out and go through our facility and looked at our operation and made a bunch of recommendations. And it was really, really good visit, and we're gonna keep that relationship going. It's just nice to have that knowledge half an hour away. The other thing, and then other than that, like the facility is busy. Last I heard, there was only 3 weekends all year the rink wasn't busy. The hall is busy a lot more than it has been in several years now. I don't have those numbers from the last one. It was like 200 uses or something last year for events, and then
Wow,
all the
that's
programs
amazing.
that are going on. Karate, gymnastics, quilting, cooking classes, basic sewing, pickleball, step and strength, booty yoga, cardio kickboxing, let's get moving, couples dancing, woodworking class, et cetera, et cetera. Like
Lots of
it's a
exercise
lot of stuff
happening
going
over
on.
there.
Yeah, unfortunately most of those are full, so I wasn't able to get in.
Not the booty yoga was not your deal. That sounds
lost-
like a good team building.
I lost my Lululemons.
It is busy here. It's amazing to me every time I come here for even just to do something like this, and there's hockey, curling, people in the hall. The parking lot's full. Like, it's just a neat feeling to come in here knowing that it's a well-used place.
We're pretty fortunate to have this facility.
Absolutely,
No
we
question.
are.
So, yeah, our job is to try and set it up for the next several decades we can. Also on that, in the Parks and Rec, we acquired 8-foot glass, installed 8-foot glass in the rink, part of the start of the hockey season. It made a significant difference in the pace of play, especially with the older kids and the Elks, the Cougars. One game last year, one of the guys was just keeping track when the big kids were playing. I think it was the Cougars, I'm not sure. And there was 31 instances where there was a stoppage in play because the glass was only 4 feet high.
I
And that's
believe it.
that's gonna be a minute,
Yeah.
almost a minute per, right? By the time
Yeah.
you muster and do a face-off, and so that's an extra half hour just of real time, so
Yeah.
significant. It was a big deal, and Carol's mentioned at council, there was tons of volunteers come out to do that. There were some folks off the Parks and Rec board, that used to be a board, now it's an advisory committee, and the Barleys, and what was the other group?
Another one of the rec hockey
Yeah,
teams.
yeah. Anyway, it was great to see. And just so you know, because I saw it, that tempered glass, you just give it a whack like that in the corner and it explodes like a bomb went off. I'm not gonna say why I saw it, but
You did see that,
I
eh?
did see that.
Okay.
What did you hit it with?
there was a screw in the like one of the
Stanchions?
the stanchions on one of the doors. They were all stiff getting out, and what had happened, the head was broke off. It took all this, and I went to get it out, and they all stick a bit, so I just give it a good whack, and that screw just caught the corner of that glass, and whew,
Wow.
it was impressive.
Mess, huh?
It's a mess, all right, yeah, it was a
Did
mess.
this- Well, sorry, I feel like I'm
Go ahead.
interrupting,
No, you're
but,
not.
this wasn't brand new glass. Did it get acquired from another arena? Why do I feel I know a bit of a story behind that
Mm-hmm. It did.
also?
It did. It came from Owen Sound, Ontario.
Wow, and you went and picked it up?
There's
Is
a
that-
chance I might have done that.
Yes,
Me and Darren Yoss.
okay. My son helped put that.
It was quite a trip.
Was here.
Yeah, he was.
And
Yeah, he was.
helped,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we had a chat about that, but that's
Yeah,
that's
quite a trip.
that's neat. that
And we
it's-
had to purchase several additional sheets because our rink wasn't the same size and there was different, but we used all the sizes they
Yeah.
had, we could.
Yeah, wow,
And the glass taken out has gone to another arena, a short distance to the north.
Rapid City. got it.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they,
I like that.
and they were
That-
thrilled. They were
Yeah.
absolutely thrilled to get it, so.
That's amazing,
So, yeah, it's sharing the wealth, kind of.
yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's made a big difference. It's actually a hockey rink, first and foremost, so.
Absolutely.
And everything that's going on with Parks and Rec, the pool liner replacement is almost complete, just because we had such a great fall. They worked a lot longer than they thought they would. And they have
Excellent.
to come back in the spring and do a few things, and Carol thinks they'll be done in plenty of time to open her up, kind of
Oh.
1st of June.
Phew.
It's, I don't know, if everybody, they say, oh, pool liner, they envision like a square pool in somebody's backyard, like that liner is complex. Like, it's quite a project.
Yeah,
So, and there's a reason it costs what it costs,
yes.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Which is $250,000, by the way.
That is incredible.
Yeah, it's hard to fathom.
Yeah.
But, so next on my list for this past year, Todd's on the board for the vet clinic, and he can talk about what's been going on there.
Sure, so I guess, I'm not sure if everybody's aware, but a lot of the clinics in the province are provincially funded. So we rely, of course, heavily on money from the province, and of course, top-up comes from the RMs that are surrounding the vet clinic that participate. So they contribute some dollars in as well. So this year we got a good, I guess, some growth funding from the province as well, and we used those dollars to purchase a new cattle handling facility for the back of the clinic. And we also used that to repaint the back of the clinic as well, because it had to be done for an audit, so that has to be kept to a certain standard to pass the audit as well,
Okay.
to keep it running. And we're hoping to use some of those dollars as well to do some spray foam in the back as well, to try and help with energy costs, because that's, clinic costs a lot of money for heat
Right.
in the wintertime. And of course, it's an old clinic, it's always, it's a very aging facility, and there's always equipment upgrades that we need to do, and there is a user fee that we charge per head. Well, it's supposed to be charged for every time that fee goes through the till, I guess. And that's just mainly to use to help hopefully cover off some incurring costs that happen on a daily basis in that clinic. So
Right.
if people are wondering why they're getting charged that fee, that's what it's for, is to try and help offset some of the costs.
Yes,
So, because we're always in a very low bank account at that
yes.
that clinic to
Yeah.
cover the cost, so.
Yeah, because the clinic itself is, like the building, that's all owned by the town, am I right, or your board?
Interesting enough, the building is co-owned between the province and the
Okay.
vet board.
I see, okay,
So the municipality doesn't have any ownership in it at
I
all.
see, okay,
But it operates in our RM, so
Yeah.
our
Right.
RM is the biggest contributor
Yes.
of dollars
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
to help keep that facility running.
And the vet board is Souris-Glenwood, Sifton, Whitehead, Oklahoma, I don't think Grassland's on it, are they?
Not
Yeah.
yet, no.
So those are the municipalities that are mandated to contribute, but I think Grassland still gives a check every year, do they not?
Yeah, and they give a
Like-
little bit
yeah,
every year,
yeah.
but we'd like
So-
to get someone on the board from that council if we can.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's the,
And then the vet that's hired to work there is hired by this
it's her
board.
own business.
Right,
She runs her own business, right?
Yeah, so
And-
Haley also has the Boys of Bing Vet Clinic,
Mm-hmm.
and she's here 1 or 2 days a week, and then there's another vet that's here
oh, okay,
one day, and then
She's
there's,
one here and Delaney's one day.
yeah, and then there's always, it's open, of course, Monday to Friday.
right.
So,
Yeah,
Also very
we've been there-
fortunate to have a vet clinic
We are.
running 5 days a week in our community, like
Yeah.
that's
Been nice to have a
amazing.
veterinarian here 5 days, but the 2 days, but we've been there puddling around doing some work, and there's, the girls, even when the vets aren't there, are still busy, they're doing
Mm-hmm.
files, doing update stuff. But there's a lot of foot traffic there still, people coming in, getting medications and stuff,
Yes,
and
yeah.
especially now,
Yeah, the phone
meds
rings
for their cows and stuff, people are calving, and
Yeah.
it's, yeah, we're lucky to have it,
right. Yeah, well, that's excellent.
yeah.
I'm also on the weed district, I'm on that board as well, and, I don't know if many people know about the weed district, but it's based out of Hartney. And Andrew Lewis is the supervisor for the weed district, and there's Grasslands, Whitehead, Sifton, Souris-Glenwood. Those are the main RMs that are involved in that one as well. Of course, they do a lot of the spraying around town, and they post where they're gonna spray, you know, to control the weeds in certain areas of town. And they also, generate revenue from spraying for our different RMs, their ditches.
Okay,
They do spraying for some of the railway lines and highways as well. They get a contract with Highways Department and make some money there as well. So they have a very healthy bank account, and they use that, of course, to keep their equipment in pretty good shape and replace it as necessary as well.
Right.
So,
especially doing that extra contract work
Yeah,
you would.
it helps a lot.
Yeah,
yeah, they're very busy from
yeah,
spring right till freeze up, so they keep very busy. I'm also on a couple other boards, the Souris River Watershed District and the Central Assiniboine. And the programs in those two are very similar, of course. And a lot of the programs you can get online, or you can call the two offices. One's based in Wawonice and one's based in Deloraine, and there's a lot of good programs in there to do with available funding for farmers with grain farmers and cattle farmers. They can take advantage of erosion control funding, like water retention, nitrogen stabilization, there's wetland programs for conservation, there's rotational grazing projects, riparian area fencing, abandoned well testing, tree planting, drinking water testing. And one project that was ongoing this winter that I think just got maybe wrapped up yesterday was a project at the Oak Lake Dam where they were putting a bunch of rock in there to help with making the environment better for spawning and spring for the fish.
right,
So I think that just got wrapped up possibly
I can speak with
yesterday.
you.
okay.
If you
So-
want, it's fine.
So, yeah.
It's
those
very
are-
busy also,
RFQ, didn't
well, for yourself, Todd, you know, you're on council, but then, well, you know, all of you are on
yeah,
different,
Yeah, we're all on several boards. so-
yes, just not just coming to a council meeting, you know, and doing the
And-
business,
and you're
it's
done.
the extra things on top of
Right.
all of that with
Yeah.
these different committees and things. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not a, what's the word, it's not a part-time job, that's for sure, maybe a full-time job some days.
It takes a lot of hours.
Yes,
Everybody
yeah.
puts in a lot of time, and when we have our council meetings, everybody shows up prepared. And I've heard some stories, where there's other councils, which, and I don't understand how they get away with it, but there's other councils where guys will show up at the council meeting and start reading their emails in the meetings, like,
Oh my,
that doesn't work very well, but No. we
I know
gotta-
that happened to me if I just did that every day, saved all my emails
Yeah,
from the day, did them the next morning, I certainly wouldn't get much work done, I don't think.
no, we got a great group and they do put in the work and they're prepared. And the discussion and the questions that come from our group, it's fantastic, so. Yeah, it's great. Anything else, Todd?
I guess I just jumped on the theater board here recently, and of course,
Okay, yeah.
we're looking at getting some more tenders in to get that roof repaired, so
Good news,
that's gonna happen here pretty soon, so.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad the theater is open again for use,
Yeah.
and I think I'm
Yeah,
correct in
it is,
saying that,
it is, yeah.
yes,
We were
so-
concerned about perhaps safety issues if,
Yeah.
something fell out of the ceiling or
Very
something.
fair.
But, so I anticipate, I think in March, that'll be getting repaired. I think.
Good.
That's what we're looking
Another
for.
vital place in the community that gets
Cool.
well used.
Well,
and
that's a historical
yes,
property, like, that's
absolutely.
just an amazing building.
And they're doing
Yeah.
some renovations inside as well in that canteen area, so when that gets done, it will be
Yeah,
very nice, so.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And I think the roof, it's, again, if something else is run by a board and everything's been done, everybody tries to run things as inexpensive as possible. And I think there's been some patching here and there, and
Yeah.
that's how these things work. And I think it's just funny, it's just caught up a bit.
Yes.
It's old,
Yeah.
and it just needs to be fixed properly, so.
And it's been great volunteers help keeping that place going with
Yeah,
all
totally.
the hours that get put into.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, we're lucky to have that. There's not many towns that have a movie theater anymore.
no, no,
And not one as cool as that either.
I
Right,
agree,
you know?
yeah,
Yeah, very
so-
comfortable and great sound system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great clarity in the
Yeah.
pictures, so.
yeah.
So,
I love going and doing my volunteer shift there. I'm always the popcorn girl, not
well,
the best at making
I was
it,
gonna say, I
but
would
I will
love
get
to be
in
a
there.
popcorn girl.
Well, I've been known to burn the popcorn. I've also been known, when that happens, that Jackie's working and the doors are open because it's smoky inside, but.
You phone the
anyway,
fire chief, say, no, it's just me.
Yeah, yeah, it's always lots of fun.
Good. Anything else, Todd? That it?
That's pretty good for me for now.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, go down my list, let's let Darcy jump in and talk about VPL and about the foundation. Darcy's sitting there, he's just itching to tell us what's going on, so.
Well, I can touch on the Victoria Park Lodge to start with, which is a assisted living facility, basically owned by the municipality. Took ownership of that probably a little over 25 years ago and has been operating under the assisted living facility guidelines and rules. Some of the amenities there, services that are all there, and I guess its location is probably is a great location because it overlooks the park, very scenic, and close to downtown. Some of the other things that, a lot of the rooms have been renovated, a lot of the building has been upgraded or repaired, so the building's in great shape. We have a large sheltered deck, TV and DVD in the dining room. We have a modern tub room with a walk-in tub, variety of room styles, a gas fireplace, a sunroom, some shuffleboard table, piano, activity room,
I think I wanna go
exercise
there.
bike,
Well, like,
air conditioning in all
Sign me up.
rooms, hair salon, lots of parking out front. And then some of the services include a 24-hour staff on site, meals cooked regular, 3 meals per day, and there's coffee and snacks available, of course, during the day. And cleaning, laundry services, an alarm system, full-time staff, and SOS Seniors Organization operates out of the building as well, which is beneficial, helps with activities and a good location for them as well. And they have various activities from time to time. The rooms, we have a north wing and a south wing. The north wing is mainly standalone suites with a small kitchen. they can utilize you can utilize your kitchen and also utilize the kitchen in the dining room with our staff cooks meals. People kind of choose what they like there. There's 10 rooms in that section, 2 small bachelors, a large bachelor, and 7 regular one-room suites. The south wing consists of 12 rooms, 8 larger rooms, and 4 smaller rooms. There is no kitchen in those facilities, so the dining room is utilized for all meals there. So, yeah, this is, kind of a facility that's kind of dear to my heart and so on. I've been involved with it for about the last 25 years since the municipality took it over, and we've done a lot of upgrades, and it's in good shape. Hopefully we can keep it going. I'm kind of reading off our website, so if anybody feels they want to review that information, certainly check out the Victoria Park website.
Are there any vacancies at the lodge?
There is right now, yeah. We have there's a fair turnover there. People come and go as they get older, type of thing. There is some changeover, but there is on the south wing. I don't think there is on the north right now, but the south wing there is.
And if someone was inquiring about possibly moving there, can they just pop in and talk to somebody?
Yeah,
Is it best to
there's
call
always either Greg or Colette there every day. So certainly they can drop in anytime and get a look.
Right.
Not a bad idea to call ahead in case
Yes.
they're busy, but
Yep.
yeah, there should be somebody there to accommodate that for sure.
Right. Is
Yeah.
there an age
No,
limit or an age restriction, I guess, maybe? I don't know if I'm asking that
No
correctly.
age restrictions at all. As long as you can fit in and it suits your needs, I think
Right.
that's the most important.
Yeah,
Perfect.
excellent.
What about the?
I don't
foundation?
have too many notes on the foundation, but I can comment on it. The Souris-Glenwood Foundation's standalone registered charity, established back in the late 90s. It's got a very active board of community members, certainly generating a lot of interest in the foundation, and we're granting out in that range of $50,000 to $60,000 a year now, which is significant. We do have a couple of flow-through grants that are significant as well. Flow-through grant through Thomas Sill Foundation that is at least $20,000 to $25,000 a year right now. So that's for any bigger projects. So I think, keep your eye if you have community projects to do. There's always a chance to apply for a grant.
Perfect.
I'm also on the foundation, and just
Oh,
gonna say
yeah.
our report will be coming out, our usual report that gets dropped in the mail. It's usually April, May, so there's lots of great information about the foundation in that, and also lists out who the money's been granted to from the previous year, and has lots of really great information. So it's a pleasure to be on that board.
Yeah, very, very, very good board.
Yeah, heartwarming
Yeah.
to give money away.
Yeah, those
Or not to
grants,
give it, but grant money away.
grants and significant scholarships to kids graduating as well.
Mm-hmm.
That continues to grow as well, so.
Yeah, it's excellent.
Nice. Okay, next on my list, I'm gonna jump down, get Deputy Mayor Apperley here to talk about the handy van. There's been some buzz lately about the handy van services, and a little confusion, I think, as to how it actually supposed to operate and what our policy is now, and so Bruce can speak to that.
Yeah, perfect opportunity to set that record all straight, I think.
So there is a committee that has recently finalized a policy that then came to council, and council approved it. And it deals with how we operate. So the cold weather, road conditions are identified that in that policy, or who's allowed to have rides on it and so forth. So it also sets the mileage and the rates in there as well. Sorry, I'm stuck here. So one of the things we're trying to do is increase the ridership of the service, and our ridership last year, so one-way stop, so if Mark came to my house and picked me up and took me uptown and dropped me off, that would be one stop. We did 1,539 of those trips last year. In 2024, we did 1,545. We also do out-of-town medical trips that return, so more than not, they're all in the area. We've done Melita, we've done Deloraine, we've gone to Clarny, we've gone to Brandon a lot of times. We've gone to Rivers. Portage La Prairie we have a 120 kilometer zone that we go to, but we do include Portage La Prairie because there's more medical trips there. Seems to be popping up, but in 2025 we did 58 medical trips, and the year prior we did 94.
Oh, wow.
So part of that is, like at the time too, we've dropped down one bus. The old van was taken out of service in April 2025. And we've been on the fence whether we need to look at something different, something smaller. You'll see like a caravan vehicle with a fold-out ramp that some communities have. So it could take one or two wheelchairs, or so if it's one wheelchair, or you can have 3 people in there as well. So
Are a lot of these trips, a lot of these medical trips are just one person though typically, are they 1 or 2?
we up to 2 probably. Yeah, we try and Rhonda's very good at coordinating it and trying to get so that people can go together, and a lot of people are very good that they don't mind sitting, or we will drop them off at the mall or somewhere if it's going to be a time period between them. But usually it works out really good, but a lot of times it is just one person in that.
So a smaller vehicle might make sense.
Right. And so when we talk about a smaller vehicle, I'd looked before I come over. So of course on the website they've updated to a 2026 Chrysler Caravan, Grand Caravan with rear entry, so the ramp comes out of the back.
Oh, okay.
$101,000 in taxes. So
That's the base model too.
that's the base
Right.
model.
That's
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's cheap, hey?
So you can get up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost as much as what else would be, the tanker here for the fire department.
That's only half of it.
Yeah,
Say
okay.
half the tanker, yeah.
So also part of the trips that's going on is there's personal care home. They're doing group trips for the residents. So they've gone for lunch, or Brandon for shopping, or they'll do crop tours or Christmas light tours. We do twice a week. We do an adult day program. So we are picking up people, and that's always done on Tuesday. So there's, and then of course the Brandon seniors shopping trips usually organized through the SOS, so the casino. I don't know if they've done that one lately, but that's also one. So as far as drivers go, we have 2 regular drivers, and I believe today we've started our 3rd driver. So we also have 4 to 5 casual drivers. So it's just not a matter of taking the mayor and putting him in the seat. There's an application process. There's some credentials, driver's abstract, and things like that. Some hoops you have to jump through to be able to drive it. So it's just not, you just don't grab somebody off the street anymore.
Right.
So like I said, we do have that new handy van policy, and I believe it's posted on the website, or call the office and they can send you a copy. And the one thing I'd like to talk to you about is the trips and booking a trip. If you know today you make a doctor's appointment for next Wednesday, call and make an appointment for the handy van for next Wednesday. Because if somebody else books it, you're not going to probably get it. So if there's an out-of-town trip booked that day, you're not going to get the handy van. So the more lead time that you can give the office, the better it's going to be able to guarantee your ride. And we just don't, if you called and needed a pickup in a half an hour, it just doesn't happen that quick. The driver has to go do a pre-trip on the vehicle, and then warm it up. So when it's 50 below outside, you just don't warm that vehicle up in 5 minutes. So
No.
it's in a heated shop, so it does help that. But so it does, you need a bit of time.
And I think also as well, Bruce, the drivers aren't like sitting waiting by the phone either. They like to have, they've got lives as well. And they,
That's right.
If you can schedule in advance, then we'll make sure one of the drivers are available.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some days it just doesn't work out where everybody's available. We did try a full-time driving scenario, so if we could get the trips up, maybe we could get back to that model where we could keep somebody on more regular, but the trips don't make it reasonable at this time. So Rhonda does a lot of work juggling rides and making sure people can get rides and trying to explain why we can't take somebody. So the strongly advised to book at least the day before to ensure you get that ride.
Right.
Yeah.
What is the cost, Bruce, for, is it by trip, by,
So we charge, it's $5 per stop. So when Mark picks me up, takes me to the grocery store, that's $5.
yeah,
When he takes me home, that's another $5.
Okay.
If I go to Brandon for a medical appointment, there's a mileage
see.
associated to that. So, yeah, that would be charged back then that way.
okay,
And then the group things are done through like the seniors group, so they would have their fee worked out in advance. So if it's $20 or $25, depending on where they're going. So
right. So just another question. So say Mark picked you up, do you give him that $5 cash, or do you have to go to the town and office and pay them, or do they invoice you, or how does that part work?
yes, you can. All the above. Actually, the municipality sells a punch card.
Oh,
So
yes.
you can get a 10-spot punch card, or you can pay the driver. So
I
if
see.
you're infrequent, you can pay the driver the $10 for the two-way run, or the punch card
I
works
see.
too.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good, thanks for that info.
So, yeah, the common misconception and the common complaint we get is that somebody phones for the handy van, they want it, to Bruce's point, you know, they phone here now at 8:05, they want the handy van at 8:15, well, it's not a taxi.
No,
And you gotta respect what's required, and also respect the fact that all the drivers they're not permanent employees sitting in the garage like they're a fire hall waiting for a fire alarm.
right,
They're-
right.
So,
Well, it's good to hear that information, clarify some things. You've got that new policy, so people can go onto the website and read it. And like Bruce said, if they, want it emailed to them, just to maybe call the office and get some clarification. So, yeah, that's excellent, excellent news.
and I think also, correct me if I'm wrong, but the policy states at a certain temperature, it's not just gonna run a certain temperature, it's not gonna go out of town. But road conditions are entirely up to the discretion of the driver, right?
Yes,
If it's
yeah.
below like a wedge and
Yes,
that kind of stuff,
yeah.
right?
Right,
If the
okay.
driver doesn't feel comfortable, the driver's not going. And
That's fair.
Nor should anybody want
Yeah,
to,
that's right.
right?
That's right, yeah. We've identified in there too, the vehicle and the ensuring it's safe, the lift and everything is checked on a per certain schedule. There's safety equipment in there for the winter time, so there's blankets and so forth in there. So we've done a lot of work in that, or Rhonda's done a lot of work actually, getting that policy in place. And the committee again will be meeting here probably, we set the budget for the handy transit, so we'll also then look and see if there's things that we need to tweak in there. And
Right,
so it's a living document that we can change if we need to.
right. Good.
What else going on in your world, Bruce? Anything else?
Actually, the one thing I wanted to talk about too was recently, last week, the mayor and myself attended the Manitoba Disaster Management Conference in Winnipeg. It was an eye-opener.
That's exactly the words I would use, exactly.
There was some real-life experience there. Reeve Lauren Schinkel from the municipality of Lac du Bonnet talked about the wildfire that they had, and what a life they led for months while that wildfire was going on. And so he did quite a eye-opening presentation. But one of the things he talked about a lot was the ability to talk or pass information, communicate with your ratepayers. And they have a difference. They had Code Red, which we have, and they've changed it to another program, but ours works just as well. So I would recommend and our ratepayers and citizens of the community to go to the municipality and line up for Code Red, and we can then communicate with you if there's a water pipe break that cuts off half the town, or after an event. So after, I don't want to say what kind of an event because I don't want to jinx anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So in 2011, this would have been used a lot in that event. So sign up for that Code Red would be one of the big things I took away from that.
Yeah, I agree. Communication's the key. What I took away as well is, we even though there'd be a lot of things involved, we're reasonably comfortable that if we had another flood, that we'd know what to do with it. We got enough people have experience with it. We understand what the process is. But anything else that may happen from, which we probably shouldn't talk about, like Bruce said, but there's several other risks, both weather and transportation, whatever. I'm not sure that we are prepared. And one speaker, he said, you'll never have it all covered, but you got to be prepared to be prepared.
Right.
And you have to. There's a lot of moving parts from people that are mobility challenged, need assistance to get out of their homes, that kind of stuff. They have to evacuate. There's a lot of things you got to think about, and so we're in the process of going through our emergency plan, and we have a municipal emergency coordinator that's helping us out. It's Dustin Williams. I can say it out loud, it's kind of been. This whole process, this whole thing's kind of been gathering dust for a while, and we're kind of resurrecting it now, and we're a lot better prepared to tackle it now than we were a week ago. Right.
Yeah.
And we were aware of a lot of resources that we can call on for it as well.
Yes.
And so it was good. It was a good seminar, and the reality is where we live, we're not living in Tornado Alley in Oklahoma or anything like that. We're not, but we still have to be prepared for different eventualities, and there's just a lot of I's we got to dot and T's we got to cross before we get there.
Yeah.
Even that unfortunate fire last week, we had outside help come in to help the local firefighters, right? From
Yeah.
farmers to other fire departments.
That's one thing that we've done a little more. We do have a mutual aid agreement. We belong to the Grand Valley Mutual Aid Group, but we recently signed an understanding, an agreement with Whitehead to the north of us, so that we can assist them if it's a water truck or staff, so that's kind of. We're looking more to, our fire chief's looking to do that more with our neighboring municipalities, because we all need help from time to time. Right.
Yeah.
The other thing, our emergency plan has scenarios in it already, identified, scored, rated, and how you can deal with it. So I think coming from this conference, we can sharpen those up a bit, and also maybe identify one or two others, right, that you don't think of, but can happen, right?
Yeah. The plan, is it something somebody can view on the website, or?
I don't believe so, no.
And
No,
is that
it's
something, though, that to be shared, though, with the public, or how?
I don't know that document is. That's something we need.
Yeah, just curious question here.
Well, I would suggest once it's completed, that anybody can walk in and look at it. Anybody
Right.
can walk into the office anytime and ask to look at, quite frankly, any document.
Right.
I mean, we're a public entity. But I don't see us putting that on the website. I think it's that'd be a big project. I'm not sure. That's a good question. Maybe down the road we can. What we certainly can do is put some points on the website, much like you'd see in one of those brochures we got, where the be prepared points, this,
Right.
and this. And the biggest thing initially, like Bruce said, the Code Red. And if we do, I'm not sure Code Red has the total capabilities of the one they moved to. I think Code Red is basically just landline, cell phone.
Yeah.
The
Connect.
the one they have, the Connect, which again, we've changed our our website to AllNet, which they do municipal websites across country.
Yeah.
That's similar to Municipal. And AllNet's, it's called AllNet Connect, and you can pick, you can email, landline, cell, there's any method, text, and so we may go to that, just to add on the email component, and he just thinks it works better. But the key is, if you're not signed up for it, you're not gonna get the notice.
Very true.
And there was folks, when Ray Schinkel was talking, there was one lady in particular that, they had not much time to evacuate, and she was out working in her garage or shop or something, doing some puttering around, and her phone was in the house. And so, one of the neighbors or one of the wildfire staff would go in yard to yard, and
Yeah.
they got her and told her you got to get, and she said that if that person had drove in the yard, she would have perished.
That's scary.
So it's important to sign up for whatever notification you can, and then obviously the next thing is, once you get a notification, you go make sure your neighbor's
That's
aware, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I know the code red test things are annoying, but they're not gonna be annoying if something's going on and you really need it. So more people that sign up, the better it is for the whole
yeah.
community.
And it is pretty simple. Go on the website and
Yeah,
code red and put in your phone number, and
Yeah.
it's very, very easy
absolutely.
to do.
Yeah. So, yeah, anything else, Bruce?
The only other thing is the Manitoba disaster, the EMO website has lots of good information on it, because at the seminar, they talked about go bag, so having a bag with water, money, medicine, so that you can just grab and go kind of thing, so you're prepared for any event. So there's lots of good information like that. Maybe that's where we'll start putting some of that information on our
And
our
that's something
website.
like that's not necessarily, it could be a house fire, like just have, if there's people there, you got seconds, get out. If you had a bag, you can grab and get out that had some medication and, you know, maybe a, whatever, a pair of pajamas, whatever, you get out and go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad thing to have sit in the corner.
Right.
So, yeah, it's great.
Yeah, some the education, getting that
Yeah,
out.
yeah. So, thanks, Bruce. So back to what, on my little list here, extensive list. We've talked several times here about community safety officers, and we're still big fans of the concept. But again, like I mentioned before, all the communities in Manitoba that have community safety officers have police forces. Several of them have private police forces, other ones have large detachments of RCMP in the community. We don't have that, and we've spoken to the Justice Department about it several times, and most recently, it was a couple months ago, just for Christmas, about the safety of a community safety officer if something goes sideways.
Right.
Right, where's the nearest help gonna be? And we were fortunate enough to have a retired staff sergeant in the RCMP on our Western Caucus. He's a councillor in Killarney, and he's quite concerned about the possibility that something could go sideways without any near support. We spoke at this conference to a couple of ex-RCMP, and they're of the same mind. So obviously, our primary concern for anybody that would work for us is their safety.
Yes.
So as much as this program looks attractive, and it is, there's still that one little bug there that we just want to figure out, if it's a safe position, if something we can go forward with. So it's kind of on hold right now, and I'm not sure what we're gonna do for funding this year. I'd hoped that we would be able to start funding it this year and look forward to starting it up, but like the province is anxious. We want to do a multi-municipality funding model, or because I don't think it'd be a full-time job for a community safety officer in Souris, but they can do obviously, speeding and all that kind of stuff, so they could, run the roads and go to Hartney, go to Alexandria, go wherever, and we could cost share the time and the tickets and all that kind of stuff, but, and the province is anxious to do this, to install that model. So they want to help us, but we're worried about safety, and
Right.
nothing is more important than that. So that's kind of on hold. Everything else, I've been asked to mention the library. Councillor Demo's on the library board, and quite frankly, the library is hurting. Obviously, memberships are down, the e-books are up, but the amount of books being taken out are down. There's a concern that the viability of the library is going to be, it may not be viable going forward. So they're looking for suggestions for fundraising, and secondary to that, community awareness. I'm not convinced everybody even knows we have a library. And if they did, they don't know where it is. And that's part of that is unfortunately the location of it. I mean, it's a great space, but it's on the main drag, and,
Right.
and you don't notice it when you're walking around town. Even when tourists are in town, it'd be hard to notice it's there. And that's a bit of a detriment, but it's a great space, and it's and you know, quite frankly, it's an inexpensive space. It's a nice setup, and there's no place else in town right now we can put it. But
Yes,
but
yes.
anyway, so awareness and funding suggestions, fundraising suggestions would be welcome. And, you know, encourage everybody in town to just pop in and see. There's a lot of resources there that I didn't realize we had. And so it'd be nice to keep that going. I think it's important. So that's Councilor Denman asked me that. And then the other thing is just talk about what we've kind of been doing overall. We've been fortunate enough to go in and speak to ministers at the legislature several times. I've been fortunate enough to go several times. My colleagues to the right have come in a couple times, and also we've been fortunate enough to have some ministers, especially Minister Samara, come out to our Western Caucus several times to speak to us. And we've been pounding them on vet funding, Highway 2 repair, which the government committed to doing. Our obviously EMS problems, and there's some really unique solutions that we may be able to implement that'll really help that. I don't want to speak too much to that right now because it's this close. And again, we're fortunate. We have a couple of EMS folks that actually live in town. Make a big difference for us. Everything that they've been talking about, and the government mentioned this, the Brown University Satellite Medical School, U of M Satellite Medical School at BU. That was initiated by our group, by the Western Caucus group. We initiated that, and the NDP has jumped on it, and it's happening. But the only problem is it's interesting, the dichotomy, this has to be done because of shortage of doctors. We would like, if we had something in BU, that maybe local kids could go there, go to school and stay here. You know, send a kid to McGill to take medicine, he's gotta meet a girl or a guy and they might not come back. But the problem is you need teaching doctors. So the shortage of doctors means there's a shortage of teaching doctors, which
Yes.
means we can't get it up and running because of
Yeah.
the shortage that we're looking to alleviate by doing it. So it's a
vicious cycle,
it really
is that
is.
a word?
It
Yes,
really is.
yes.
But that's something that everybody's working on. The dean of the U of M medical schools, the dean of the whole U of M's in on it. The dean of BU's in on it. Brandon's in on it. The provincial government. So everybody's all on board. And there's space with that new expansion on the hospital in Brandon. It's just bodies.
Yes,
So.
exciting.
So we're kind of running some time. People are going to be, if they're having, you know, problems with going to sleep, this will be getting taken care of pretty quick. But
We're doing pretty good.
so for 2026, we mentioned before the pre-treatment for the water plant. That's one of the things we want to get done. That's subject to assessment and everything else, engineering study by the province. The other thing we're doing, we have. There's different levels of water treatment, wastewater treatment, and our plant is rated at a level 3. There's a point system. If you have this, and this, there's points. And we're at a level 3, and that requires obviously a more highly skilled operator than obviously level 1 or 2.
Okay.
And that's something that's difficult to do. It's a lot of hours and time and money and everything else. If we eliminate fluoride in our water, it would lower our plant rating enough to make it a level 2, and it would also just one less step and one less chemical to handle. So
I see.
we're looking into that and looking into what the ramifications of that may be. There's a lot of research on it now, and there's naturally occurring fluoride in our well water anyway already. So that's one of the things we're looking at. Obviously, the wastewater assessment RFP was out. We got that done now. We're continuing with infrastructure repairs and upgrades that were not possible in 25, including replacement and upgrade of fire hydrants and water valves, and also sewer line relining or replacement as funds allow. And that's back to what last year, kind of like the doctor thing. We're trying to replace aging infrastructure, but yet the aging infrastructure is failing, so we can't
Right.
replace it because we're busy fixing it and it
Yes.
costs money.
Yeah.
So, as a result of the development plan being completed, once it's approved, we can formally join the Keystone Planning District. Right now, we're just on contract. I'm not sure cost-wise, there's gonna be a huge saving. We're paying for the service we get right now. But we formally join, we at least have a seat at the table.
Right.
When we're talking about the direction it goes, et cetera. And there'll be a cost to join. because there was a significant startup cost that the municipalities that are involved right now had to incur. So we'll just throw some more funding into that table, and then after that, the costs are based on population and the number of permits per year. So
Okay.
in this group, obviously Cornwallis, because the proximity to Brandon, they have a significantly larger number of permits on an annual basis than we do.
Yes.
And so they'll just pay more because of that, but obviously there's more work being done on those permits by the planning district. So it's a pretty fair funding model, and we look forward to being a part of that, and just, like I say, that gives us a seat at the table, and we can, go forward. Continue updating bylaws and policies to make them more current and reflect today's environment. We've done several. We've kind of been in a bit of a lull lately. We're gonna try and hammer a few of those out in the next few months. Just review them and make sure there's still not bylaws about how to properly tie your horse up on the crest and stuff like that.
Coming across any of those?
Yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, that kind of stuff.
They sound museum worthy, those ones.
We're
Actually, I don't
also,
think there's any current.
we're also creating policies where there isn't policy.
Yeah.
Right, so if we come across a scenario where we have no direction on how to make a decision on something, we're taking a step back and asking the staff to create a policy for us.
Right.
Yeah, and then the staff, they work from policies.
Yeah.
They don't work from, I think that's probably a good idea, right? And it gives them direction,
Yes.
and it's, the beauty of this business is that if we don't have a policy, there's a good chance some other community has. And so there's a lot of sharing of information,
Yes.
and vice versa. Obviously, we send stuff people's way as well. And so, yeah, and we also, we review that. We review what other communities do, and we may not agree with how they do things, and we'll take those policies and we'll change them to suit ourselves.
So policies, is that something like you can make a decision on at a meeting, like pass a policy, it doesn't need to?
Yeah, the bylaws
Go
need
through-
3 readings,
Right,
policies
okay.
don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you go back to the handy transit policy, that was put together from a couple and some of our own unique items in there, and then we ran through it a couple times, and then once we passed it at the committee level, we sent it to the council for their
Right.
approval,
I
so
see, okay.
that's basically how it would work.
So there's that. We're gonna continue with equipment upgrades to enable staff to better and more efficiently perform their duties. And one of the big ones we just discussed recently is probably gonna look to purchase a new grader for the rural folks, and then take one of the rural graders and bring it into town, and take the old museum piece that's in town and see if we can sell it to somebody and send it down the road. We've done some significant purchases since we got in, and it's reflected in the efficiencies of our staff. We've got a skid steer that's used almost daily, and we're looking at buying a couple of attachments for that skid steer on an annual basis to make, because they're like a Swiss Army knife for a machine.
Right.
We upgraded the excavator, and it's made a huge difference as far as loading times for gravel and that kind of stuff, quicker for ditch cleanouts, digging up water mains, whatever. So it's made a difference. So we can't ask our staff to, to perform miracles if you just give them a pick and a shovel. They need a little more than that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and that's, by the same token, that's the staff in the office as well. That's why we did this
Yeah.
Munisoft upgrade.
Yep.
That's why we changed the website. That's why we something I didn't mention, we got Kelty Information Systems to, they assessed all of our IT, and they did a complete assessment of our cybersecurity. And then we've since upgraded all our computers, brand new server, and Kelty now, we're cybersecurity and antivirus, et cetera, they monitor everything we do. And,
That's very important.
Well, it's very important, and so, if you don't have that in place and something happens, your cybersecurity insurance there's no value to it. And it's been great. Now and then we get some weird emails, you're going, yeah, that's, they're checking on us, yeah, I don't think I'll open that. But it's been good, and it's very necessary, so that's no different than buying a skid steer.
Yes.
It's just
Yep.
a different group.
Yep,
Working with Manitoba Transportation Infrastructure Plan to put away reserve money In anticipation of this Highway 2 upgrade, we'll have to do some infrastructure upgrades along there as well, if we're gonna tear the road up. And also shoulder upgrades and repairs on the shoulders. We're responsible for the shoulders.
Okay.
Which is goofy, I think, but anyway, especially coming up around the town hill and that, the semis that come up there, I reckon, the shoulders. But anyway,
That's the town's responsibility.
town's responsibility, so on
Okay,
250,
interesting.
especially 22,
Yeah.
down there, it gets pounded. And so, and we're trying to work with them on maybe getting some funding of that.
Right.
This summer, gonna replace 88 rural road signs, so they're actually legible. So that'll be a good project. And like I said earlier, continue with bridge assessment south of town, replacing many with culverts. That's kind of a nutshell of what we're looking at right now, going forward. And
We are
that'll change by tomorrow.
we are investigating that town sign east of town here,
That's the class of 69s replacing that.
trying to figure out what's going on with
So
that.
I'll find out what's up with that,
On
yeah.
the east side of town?
Yeah,
Not
the Welcome to
brick
Service one, the
but
Welcome to Service one that
dump.
fell apart.
By the
By the dump.
waste.
The class of
yes.
69 was gonna put a new sign up, which is
Oh,
awesome. They
okay.
did that 2 years
Yeah.
ago, and I'm not sure where it's at right now, so I'm gonna do some snooping on that.
Okay.
Because we haven't done anything with that sign because we're anticipating.
Right,
so-
right. I know someone from that class.
Yeah,
A few people, actually.
so do I. Yeah, so,
I want to ask you a question about the 88 rural road signs.
Yeah.
Like, is that like the stop signs or the road, like the names of the roads?
the road names,
Like,
yeah.
The 127.
Yeah. Yeah.
like
the-
the, not the,
The green
yeah,
signs.
the green
The green
signs,
signs, yeah,
not the
yeah.
blue signs.
Just like
green
the street signs here.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them get shut up.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
faded in the sun.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
it, yeah,
Yeah.
faded. You get some shotgun pellets fading them. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're
Wow.
at. I think we've covered a lot. And again, just, and I could have made this twice as long.
I know.
There's
you could've.
a lot involved, and
Yep.
you know, most of the people in the community understand and appreciate. The odd one gets a little critical and wonder why nothing seems to get done. Well, there's a lot getting done, and it's being done every day. And one thing about this business is that you can't plan a week, even in the office. But you try and make a plan for what's gonna happen, and you go to work, and at 8 in the morning, something happens, water main break, something going on, and everything changes.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot.
I bet.
And it happens in this facility, quite frankly, with Parks and Rec guys as well, it happens in the park. It's a very fluid thing, and it's hard to be super efficient when you gotta move around and bounce on all these little emergency jobs and that. But everybody does the best they can, and I think we're fortunate with the staff we have at all levels. The staff in the office right now is absolutely fantastic. And we're fully staffed, Parks and Rec, we're fully staffed with Public Works, and they're good people, they work hard, they get along well, they take care of our stuff. We're in a really, really good place. So it makes our jobs quite a bit easier, because it makes everybody look good.
Right, yeah. Lots of successes in this conversation, you know, and things that are coming, you know, being worked on still and yet to come, and I appreciate just being a part of this. I've learned quite a number of things, and I apologize if I interjected a little bit.
Oh, no, we
too
want
much with
interjections.
some of
We like
my-
interjections.
Some of my, you know, Jackie questions. But I think, you know, having the four of you here and just this little synopsis of what's been going on, and I think it was the fall you were here last, Duane, and we did the, you know, the same thing, and I think, you know, having, you know, we're on here for what, an hour and a half chatting, that, you know, people can learn a lot, and in this, you know, having just this conversation amongst us, and yeah, you are busy people, and I appreciate and thank you for your time that you do put into the community, and we wouldn't have the facilities and the, you know, great things going on here if it wasn't for all of you, so I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, on that note, it is all of us. There's a group of, well, 6 of us now since
Yes.
Dawn stepped down.
Yep.
And everything's done collaboratively.
Yep.
And, you know, the decisions we make are made collaboratively. We collectively believes in the best interest of the municipality as a whole, and that's all we can do.
Yep, and our community is thriving, you can see it. You know, when you're going down the street, or you're coming to this facility and seeing the people here, or you're going over to the school and the school's full, and, you know, there's not a lot of homes to buy here right now, and, you know, says a lot of good things that are happening here,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yes, thank you so much for your time. Do any of you have anything else to chat about, or are we gonna wrap it up?
We just need to do this more often. We need to visit with you again.
Well, absolutely, we'll just make a time, and whenever it works, we'll make it work, so, yeah, I'm happy to do it.
Great, so are we. I think it's important that everybody understands, you know, what's going on,
Yeah.
and, you know, the challenges.
Oh, absolutely,
And, the successes, so
yeah, excellent. All right, well, I think we'll wrap it up for tonight.
appreciate it very much.
Excellent,
Thanks,
thank you so
Jackie.
much
Thank
for
you,
your
Jackie.
time. This has been Spotlight on Souris for Thursday, February the 5th, 2026.